Is namaste like a yoga thing, or is that just from that's the yoga people act like they went to India and learned from masters, so now they know how to say like adios, or like I know how to say thank you when I'm in Sweden, tak. I've been a loyal listener for quite a while now. As the title suggests, I'm from Nepal, the tiny little country sandwiched between the China and India. I thought Nepal was a city in India. Talking about politics that's bullied by both the top dogs in Asia. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's got to be a hell of a situation. Anyway, apart from that, you're like the kid in a divorce, having to choose a parent. You're like Finland in World War II, in between the Russians and the Germans. Have they ever made a movie about the fact that the Finnish people finished the fucking Russians, but because that they were in business with the Germans, at the end, they still had to give away the bottom third of their country? Isn't that what happened? Anyway, apart from the depressing geopolitical situation of my country, it's actually beautiful. We're home to 8 of the highest mountain peaks in the world, including Mount Everest. Is that where Mount Everest is? It's in Nepal. I don't know shit about Nepal. You know what I'm going to do? I got the internet shut off. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to memorize a few things about Nepal, and I'm going to bring it up at a fucking social event. I figure you like to learn cool facts about the world, so I thought I'd drop that in. That is cool. Also, here are a few... Is everybody in your country in really good shape? With all of those fucking... There must be insane hiking out there, huh? Or do you guys just blow it off and you just take all those mountains for granted? Also, here are a few things that might convince you to come visit. It's just a 90-minute flight from New Delhi, India. So if you ever want to do a Southeast Asia tour for your third world country fans, it's pretty easy to drop in. We love tourists. Nepal's chief source of income is tourism. Besides that, it's remittance, which is basically all the money sent by our countrymen that have gone abroad to earn. I don't know what that means. Since we have some of the worst salaries, for example, a registered nurse starts with a salary of Nepal rupees 10 to 15 grand. That's about American 75 to 113 per month. $75? Jesus Christ, buddy. You know I'm dumb. What the fuck are you bringing the fucking exchange rate into this? All right, number 3. We're currently ruled by a known terrorist. I'm not fucking going there. See, this is the thing I've noted. My country has done so much fucking shady shit that it really gets fucking, when I start, it's shady enough when I go to a country that's run by white people, meaning Europe. I really have to fucking keep my head on a swivel and understand, what is going on. What are the suits in our country saying to the suits over here? I start going to the non-white countries. It's a pretty good bet that some corporation run by white guys in America have been there, taken the natural resources, fuck people out of farmland and all that shit. And then I fucking show up with my little snorkel and my brochure. And next thing you know, Billy Boy goes disappearing. What do you do if somebody has a fucking, a look on their face like maybe they saw somebody smoke weed at some point? Do you throw them in jail forever? That's another thing I get worried about over there. Over there, meaning any place that isn't here. Okay, so you're currently ruled by a known terrorist. Our prime minister was the leader of the Maoist regime that fucked with the country for decades. After we killed out royalty, that's an entirely different email. Oh, killed our royalty, and switched to democracy, the Maoist regime came into power. All right, so you're ruled by some kings and queens, some family. You whack them to get democracy, and then you end up with the terrorist. Well, that sounds a lot like over here. There's a fine line between a terrorist and a war criminal, isn't there? Speaking of which, Jimmy Carter, it sounds like he's towards the end here, and it's really going to turn my stomach when I watch all of these other former presidents give him a tip of the cap when he passes, and, I don't know. I wish that they had the integrity of that guy. Like what that guy has done for people throughout his time in political office and then after. He didn't do the stupid speech tour and go get himself a fucking aquifer or a house in Martha's Vineyard. The guy was out there swinging a hammer until about a week ago, it seems. Building houses for the needy, man. What a great guy. Anyway, now our government is a coalition since none of them can ever win the required majority in the parliament, which means the prime minister position often changes every 2 years or so. Any chance of a stable government is fucked. Well, that sounds like the CIA's behind that. That's their big thing. Keep it unstable and put a lunatic in power. Maybe the Russians did it. Who knows? Also, fun fact, this so-called communist leader has a Swiss bank account. Dude, this is fascinating. Everyone knows it, but no one does anything since they're all working together. Jesus Christ. Do you guys have Waffle Houses and Subway sandwiches? This all sounds very familiar. We have amazing coffee. All right, I think I'm going. And I know you love your coffee. From what I've heard, the coffee culture was introduced in Nepal by a Christian missionary. Thank you, Jesus. Today, you get bean coffee at every turn for as cheap as $1 for an Americano. Also, the outflow of Nepal students that go abroad to study has caused a massive growth of barista schools because it seems that getting a part-time job as a barista is pretty easy in most countries. This is like the most information I've ever got about a country I don't know enough about. Anybody else want to chime in countries that I think are cities in other countries, but they're actually individual countries? Okay, hotel rooms are cheap. The top boutique hotel price range from $100 to $150 per night. Also opt for a boutique hotel over the regular international chains like Marriott, Radisson, Hyatt, etc. I remember hearing you bitch about how one of these chains you stayed at was disgusting and dirty. Boutique hotel trend has been growing in Kathmandu. Oh my God, Bob Seger. And they're gold. 20 to 40 rooms. Amazing details in architecture, impeccable service. Also stay in the city center, THAMEL, so you can walk to all the best stuff the Valley has to offer. All right, I'm turning my internet back on. I'm going to take a peek at what this person's talking about. Let's take a look. This is like one of these. Okay, this is one of these things. Sorry, my fucking phone's telling me to shut off airplane mode. I know. I mean, that's what I was trying to do. I know, Uncle Freddy. Where is it here? The fuck is the internet? All right, here we go. Nepal earthquake. Images. Let me see. Nepal plane crash. Jesus Christ. Oh, here we go. Nepal, best places to visit. Oh my God, it's fucking gorgeous. Isn't that wild? Someplace that beautiful can be run by a terrorist. Congratulations. You live in that's like, closest we got to that is New Hampshire, maybe Utah. Anyway, let me get back to the fucking email here. Where the hell is it? There we go. What are we doing? Hotels? All right. We're one of the few countries in the world that the British couldn't conquer. Look at that. But they did bully us into certain degree. Oh, so it wasn't us. Woo! It was the white people we came from. That also needs another email. Well, keep sending the emails. We did end up giving them access to the world's deadliest warriors, the Gurkhas, as claimed by the show Deadliest Warrior in their finale, which was the Gurkha versus the French Foreign Legion. I always feel like emailing you when I hear your podcast, but get too lazy when I actually get down to my laptop. Hope this one makes it to the podcast. I've sent a few when I was drunk, but it was probably shit because I was hammered. Tell Nia I miss her. She should come on more often. Also, as your view on marriage and kids has evolved, so has mine. I'm still unmarried at 33, but plan to get married soon. That's awesome. I had the same view on marriage and kids, but listening to you talk about Nia and your kids, I can't wait to share my life with the mother of my kids. Thank you for all the laughs, you bald gingerbread man. Well, thank you for all that information about Nepal. That's incredible. I always just get nervous when I always feel like somebody's going to plant drugs on me or someone's going to try to kidnap me. I just, I grew up with those, Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, the fucking Steven Seagal, all of that shit was really horrible advertising for basically any country that wasn't like a white country, to be honest with you. It just is what it is. That's what's always so funny about those award shows. When Hollywood talks, gives like lectures to red states about race relations and shit, and like so many of the racial stereotypes were actually created by Hollywood. And then not to mention, I keep saying Hollywood looked like Major League Baseball in the 1950s right up until about 2016, 2017. So I don't know what they're going on about. It's always funny to see, though. It's always funny to see an actor go up there. I'm going to fucking say this and change the world.